Last round.
Because it's great for the bodybuilder that lives just down the road and there's no one in that gym, and he just goes and puts his headphone on and knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, 100%. So there's a certain part of the market that the 24-hour gym is really geared towards. And initially the bodybuilding community was quite a fringe community. There was only relatively speaking, a small number of people that did that type of thing. They had all been, I guess you want to call it, relatively educated in how to lift, and it's not to say that things were optimal, but they at least could conduct themselves with reasonable safety, knew how to put a program together, knew how to execute the exercises on there, and knew what to eat in order to get themselves in good shape. As time went on, the prices continued to fall in the gym market. They opened it up to the wider population, and then anybody who decided they wanted to get fit could come in and use it. And it's a great theory, to get everybody fit at a very low cost. It's a fantastic idea. But the issue is that most people really don't have the tools or have the knowledge or the expertise to safely conduct themselves through a progressive training program or get results. So one or two things happen. They go in, they conduct the program that they get given on the piece of paper, which is a cookie cutter program. They generally, are probably going to be doing some of the exercises, in an unsafe way or not optimally. They generally won't modify their loading over time. They generally won't change any of the things that you need to change in order to see progress. They become disenchanted as a result of not seeing progress, and eventually, one or two things happen. They either give up because they're not getting the progress they want, or they hurt themselves, in which case they have to take time off and then they give up. So either one of those is not a good result, and then inevitably, a year later, they eventually decide to cancel their gym membership. So although it's only cost them a couple of cups of coffee a week, it's still been $10 wasted a week because they haven't made use of it. They certainly haven't got any progress for their money. So although it might seem like a really good short-term investment, it's kind of like buying, you ever hear the expression, buy cheap, buy twice? So you buy something that's cheap and it breaks down, you end up having to buy the expensive one anyway to replace it because this one's made properly. So in this quick fix lifestyle that we live in at the moment, and people want instant solutions, where there's been a little bit of a breakdown is when we look at the cult bodybuilding community that was fairly small, back 20, 30 years ago. These guys had gone through a long, slow education by way of being in the gym, watching other more advanced lifters lift, picking their brains, learning from that.
And you find they move around a lot, those people, they have different sort of, Big Luke goes to 3 or 4 different gyms, he's learning from multiple people,
Yeah, so it would depend on where you live too, who was at the gym, what the quality of the people were like there. You might be in a gym where there's not very many seasoned lifters at all, and you end up with getting a really bad education by way of, if that's all your education is to watch other people in the gym and then mimic what they do. That was certainly my exposure to it. And I had good and bad people that retrospectively I look back on, and some people's technique was bad on certain things and advice was bad and others was good.
And the internet was invented.
That changed everything. Anyway, for old people like me, it wasn't around at the time, so it was muscle and fitness magazines and flex magazines and things like that, and then it was going and watching these guys who were more experienced lifting at the gym and picking their brains. And back then the gym wasn't as populated with people as what it is now, and so the guys that were there were, most of them had a really vested interest in improving themselves, and albeit some of their methods might have been crude, they were certainly effective in getting results. But the bit that's missing from current days thinking is that you pick it up off the internet, you know how to do it. Well, you don't know how to do it, you've picked it up off the internet, you've read it. That doesn't mean you know how to do it, or how to implement it, or how to make it work for you.
Watching and practicing,
So there's a difference between having knowledge and having experience. And
having someone there talk you through it.
And correct it, or someone you can go to fix the finer details that most people miss. So the learning curve that a lot of these old bodybuilders had was through trial and error and practice, and then going to the more senior people in the gym and picking their brains about things, and then back and forth until they finally tuned it. And that wasn't a quick education either. Don't be under the impression that they go in there and a month later they know what they're doing. It was slow and gradual. Now with the internet, it should be easier, but what ends up happening is people grab something off the internet, think that they actually understand it when they clearly don't. They've read it, and they might understand what it says on the paper, but then somewhere between that and the application of it, and then how to change it in order to keep progressing, there's a lot of assumed knowledge here which simply most people do not have.